21st Century Entrepreneurship with Martin Piskarik.
The one thing that we can never get more of is hours in the day. And as an entrepreneur, I just find that I have a million ideas, whether that's at breakfast or at the middle of the night. And there are so many things that I want to do, so many things I want to achieve, and I feel like there's not enough time. And a big part of that for me comes from the idea of potential. That you have all of these things in your head that you want to be able to explore, that you want to be able to achieve or experiment with. And yet we often run into blocks, whether that's time, skills, knowledge, ability, whatever those things are. And the core thing that drives me is that ability to unlock potential. And so working with AI means that I'm able to now augment my human experience to be able to unlock so much more potential and see some of the achievements that I wanted to see, whether they're business related or personal related, but I'm actually able to start becoming the person that I wanted to be. I'm Candice DeVille, and I think I probably started my entrepreneurship journey when I was about 6 or 7 years old, selling flowers from the next door neighbour's garden to everybody else in the street. And since then, I have not stopped. Every idea, everything I want to pursue, it has been a constant driving force. And how I ended up in AI is really a story of someone that was born in an era that straddled both analog and digital. And through that, it meant that I had access to a lot of really early computer technology and, learning to program at a young age. So it made me very curious and I could see what was possible. And by following that path and rather than doing university degree and this, that, and the other, I allowed myself to be led by my passions and where I found that I got the most personal satisfaction. And that was in learning new things and being able to apply them and try them out. And over many years of running different businesses and very much in digital marketing, a big part of what I did was working with some of the early algorithms and seeing how that impacted the space. And of course, understanding how the machines could help us connect with our world better was fascinating. And that's what led me down the path of wanting to work with AI and where we are today. One of the biggest problems that we face now with the AI space is the plethora of stories on social and in the media about AI can do this. It can make you $10,000 overnight. Don't follow this picture of the Pope. It's not real. And the understanding of what it actually is and what it can actually do is very little amongst most people. And essentially it's like propaganda. But what this means for a lot of small and medium-sized businesses, and they call us and say, well, we've got these problems, but we don't understand how AI can solve it. Or is AI only going to do this one thing, say make our sales calls or whatnot? They're unable to understand what it is and how it works, which means they can't quite grasp how it's going to be impactful for their business. And that can lead to two areas, which is either complete inaction and feeling like you're falling behind and getting incredibly stressed about, what competitors are doing, or trying to go too fast and not understanding the implications, the risks, the ethics, the professional risks, all of these sorts of things. And it leaves them in a space where they don't know how to find the right kind of information and get that guidance. In Australia, we've found that particularly with small to medium businesses, they don't necessarily have a lot of time or a lot of money to spend on sorting out where they're going in the future. And many are still going through digital transformations themselves and have sort of half manual, half digital systems. And so introducing AI to that means that a lot of them are completely overwhelmed. And that's where AI Copilot comes in. And we see our role as being three particular things. And the very first fundamental is education, because there's no point in us trying to solve a problem if the businesses that we're working with don't truly understand what that is or how it can be solved. Because there's so many ways to solve a problem, and we need to find the best, the safest, and the most efficient way to do that. And that's what we do together, by doing those education pieces with the key stakeholders who have the knowledge in the business. They understand where it came from, what they're trying to do, what problems they're trying to solve for their customers, but they also understand the inner workings of their business better than anyone else will. And by working collaboratively with them to see that, we're able to not only educate, but uncover opportunities that they would not have seen. And during that process of discovery, it's also about us teaching them how to do that, how to change the perspective with which they look at their business every day, so that they can start training their brains to recognize opportunity when it's there. And for us, that's the core piece of where we start with every client, so that they can, walk into any meeting, walk into any room and think, oh, that's the perfect problem for AI to solve for us. And it could be something that they can solve in 5 or 10 minutes. Maybe it's a bigger project, but we're there then to guide them through that and say, okay, that's a great idea. Now let's look at this decision matrix that we've come up with to actually turn that into a replicable process, so that they're able to take their ideas, run them through this decision matrix and determine what has the most impact. How fast is it to achieve? What's the commercial impact of this? And also, very much so, what is the risk of doing this? And the risk factor are things that they don't often see straight out of the gate. There are certain risks that businesses are used to dealing with and those that they're not. And AI introduces a whole other series of risks. So these conversations and working with the key stakeholders in the business enables them to go forward down that AI journey with so much more information and building their AI muscles to be able to recognize the right things and know where to go next. Because without those skill sets and without building some kind of roadmap, everyone's going to get lost. We're in such changing waters that you have to be able to have some kind of rudder to steer you through. So the AI transformation journey isn't like buying a piece of software. And for many entrepreneurs, they think that it's like going to buy 3 or 4 SaaS products. They try and find the best fit, and then they put that in and tell their team, this is what we're doing. Nothing could be further from the truth. Working with AI is not like buying and implementing software. It is an entirely different kind of transformation, even to the digital transformations that some businesses may remember going through in the 90s. What's so different about this is not only is the technology changing every single day and how we can apply it changing every day, we're dealing with people's futures, their emotions, and how they feel about the job roles that they have. So by implementing AI into a business, you're not just needing to deal with technology, you need to deal with people, structure, the human psyche, feeling safe and secure in what we're doing. And so it presents an entirely new series of challenges for people like us at AI Copilot who are guiding businesses through this, that it's not purely technology, it is people at the heart. And if we don't also work at that change management and helping people learn the best ways to adopt this, that will actually improve the way they live their lives and improve the way they feel about themselves, that adoption is not going to be welcomed. And as we go through this process with different businesses, We've seen that there are different styles, everybody's different ages, how they deal with these things. Some of our clients are very, very low tech literacy. Some are quite high, but that doesn't mean that the emotions in this are different. And so when we go into any project, the first thing we want to look at is not only that decision matrix, but what is the personal impact that this project is going to have on the people who are participating or who are impacted by this. And I'll give you an example. One little project that we did not long ago, the CFO came to us and said, I'm so overwhelmed. This is a family business. My dad can see how stressed I am. I need to take some more time. How can you help me? And so we sat with them and worked through what is on your plate. What are you doing now? What is the technology that you're using to solve that? And who do you employ as part of this team? And from there, we picked a few projects that we knew we could clearly have success with that would give him back something. And so we worked on a process around outstanding debts that not only gave him back an entire day per week as a CFO, but also increased the rate that people were paying their bills and how quickly they were paying them. So instead of bills going out to 90 or 120 days, they were starting to see payments come through in 30 days or less. So it meant that the business was able to improve some of their cash flow issues. But for him personally, he now has an entire day back a week to either choose to do something else or spend that with his family, which is what he's doing. So as I said, I'm always looking for ways to uncover and realize more potential. And I think that for me, not just as an entrepreneur, but as a mother, I have two daughters, 17 and 20. And one in particular has really struggled. She has autism and ADHD, which means she learns really differently. And so one of the challenges for me has been, how do I not only do my business and be successful at those sorts of things, but be really effective as a mother and a leader in my own home? And how do I help her learn better? And so using AI, I've been able to do things like, even a couple of years ago, create a personal tutor for her that was able to interact with the course material that she was learning. So she wants to become a psychologist, but she found that the standard way of learning from a textbook and doing exams was really not giving her what she needed because she has so many questions. And instead, I programmed this tutor for her very, very easily using AI and an early version of ChatGPT to be able to understand all the material she was learning and be able to feed that back to her in a way that was easier for her to understand, to chunk that learning, to do some reinforcement and so on. And not only did that help her to learn the material, but it gave her confidence. It gave her the confidence that was missing in the traditional school system, where she felt that she was constantly falling behind or being criticized, whereas this was able to help her uncover what she truly knew and what her passion was, and to be able to then follow that through to a point that she is so excited about going to college next year, that she's been taking like early college courses and all of these sorts of things because she feels supported and encouraged. And ultimately, that's what we want our employees to feel as well, that's what AI can do for them. It can help them do their job better in a way that works for them, in their style of work, in their style of learning, so that they can achieve and uncover what it is that makes them special at their role and to keep contributing from their unique and experienced perspective. After experiencing all of these things with different clients, we realized that the most important place for them to start was to understand, were they even ready for AI and how are they going to navigate that? So I've written a workbook that's available to anyone that wants to get their hands on it, that takes you from the very beginning of understanding, are you even in a place for AI adoption? If you're not, how do you get there? And then what's next? And it's a very actionable workbook that will explain things in plain English for any business owner to be able to get their hands on, so that by the time you've finished it, you'll be able to understand where to go next. You can access this book on our website, aicopilot.com, and you can reach out to me if you have any questions at all. We're very approachable here, and we want to be able to talk to more of you, because the more of you that we talk to as you've gone through the workbook, you're going to have questions. We want to hear them, because these are the things that we want to answer for you. So we also will have Ask Me Anythings, live Q&As on our socials. At any point, please feel free to jump in and ask me, because there's nothing more that I love than talking about potential and how we can help you reach it.
21st Century Entrepreneurship with Martin Piskarik.
Imagine a space where triumphs, trials, and tales of entrepreneurship come alive. Welcome to the 21st Century Entrepreneurship Podcast, a gold awarded journey hosted by Martin Piskarik, connecting with listeners in 95 countries and ranking in the top 0.5% of all podcasts. Join our exclusive community, elevate your perspective, and embark on the path to success.